And Abimelech, the son of Jerubbaal, went to Shechem to his mother's brothers, and he spoke to them and to all the family of the house of his mother's father, saying, Speak now in the ears of all the men of Shechem. What is better for you, that there rule over you 70 men, all the sons of Jerubbaal, or that one man rule over you? Now remember that I am your bone and flesh. His mother's brothers spoke of him in the ears of all the men of Shechem all these words, and their hearts inclined to follow Abimelech, for they said, He is our brother. They gave him 70 pieces of silver of the house of Baal Berith, and Abimelech hired with them idle and hasty men, and they followed him. He went to his father's house to Ophrah and killed his brothers, the sons of Jerubbaal, 70 men upon one stone, but Jotham, the youngest son of Jerubbaal, was left, and he hid. All the inhabitants of Shechem and all Beth Millo assembled, and they went and made Abimelech king by the plain of stones that was in Shechem. And they told it to Jotham, and he went and stood on the peak of Mount Gerizim. And he raised his voice and called, and he said to them, Listen to me, you men of Shechem, that God may listen to you. The trees went forth to anoint a king over them, and they said to the olive tree, Reign over us. But the olive tree said to them, Should I leave my fatness, wherewith by me they honor God and men, and go to wave over the trees? The tree said to the fig tree, Go you and reign over us. But the fig tree said to them, Should I leave my sweetness and my good fruitage, and go to wave over the trees? The tree said to the vine, Go you and reign over us. The vine said to them, Should I leave my wine, which causes God and men to rejoice, and go to wave over the trees? Then all the trees said to the thorn, Come you and reign over us. The thorn said to the trees, If in truth you anoint me king over you, then come and take refuge in my shade, but if not, let fire come out of the thorn and consume the cedars of Lebanon. And now if you have dealt in truth and with sincerity, in that you have made Abimelech king, and you have dealt with Jerubbaal and his house, and you have done to him according to the deserts of his hands. For my father fought for you and cast his life aside and saved you from the hands of Midian. You have risen up against my father's house this day, and have killed his son, 70 men upon one stone, and have made Abimelech, the son of his maidservant, king over the inhabitants of Shechem, because he is your brother. Now if you have dealt in truth and with sincerity with Jerubbaal and with his house this day, then rejoice with Abimelech, and let him also rejoice with you. But if not, let fire come out from Abimelech and consume the inhabitants of Shechem and Beth Millo. Let fire come out from the inhabitants of Shechem and from Beth Millo, and consume Abimelech. And Jotham ran away and fled and went to Beer, and he dwelt there because of Abimelech his brother. And Abimelech ruled over Israel 3 years. And God sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the inhabitants of Shechem. Inhabitants of Shechem betrayed Abimelech, that there might come the injustice done to the 70 men of Jerubbaal, and their blood which he shed now, to be placed upon Abimelech their brother, who killed them, and upon the inhabitants of Shechem, who strengthened his hands to kill his brothers. The inhabitants of Shechem set for him liars in wait on the tops of the mountains, and they robbed all that passed by them on the way. And it was told to Abimelech. And Gaal the son of Ebed came with his brothers, and they entered Shechem, and the inhabitants of Shechem put their trust in him. And they went out into the field and gathered the grapes of their vineyards, and trod them, and made dances, and they came into the house of their God, and ate and drank, and cursed Abimelech. And Gaal the son of Ebed said, Who is Abimelech? Who is Shechem? And we should serve him. Is he not the son of Jerubbaal, and Zebul, is he not his officer? Serve the men of Hamor, the father of Shechem, but why should we serve him? And would that these people were under my hand, and I would remove Abimelech. And he said to Abimelech, increase your army and come out. And Jerubbaal, the ruler of the city, heard the words of Gaal, the son of Ebed, and his anger was kindled. And he sent messengers to Abimelech in secret, saying, behold, Gaal, the son of Ebed, and his brothers are coming to Shechem, and behold, they besiege the city on account of you. And now, get up at night, you and the people that are with you, and lie in wait in the field. And it shall be in the morning, as soon as the sun is shining, you shall rise early and spread out upon the city. And behold, when he and the people that are with him come out against you, then you shall do to him whatever you can. And Abimelech and all the people that were with him got up at night and lay in wait against Shechem in 4 companies. And Gaal, the son of Ebed, went out and stood in the entrance of the gate of the city. And Abimelech and the people that were with him got out from the ambush. And Gaal saw the people and said to Jerubbaal, behold, people are coming down from the tops of the mountains. Jerubbaal said to him, you see the shadow of the mountains, as if they were men. And Gaal continued to speak and say, behold, people are coming down from the navel of the earth, and one company is coming by way of the plain, Meonim. And Jerubbaal said to him, where then is your mouth that you used to say, who is Abimelech, that we should serve him? Is not this the people that you have despised? Go out now and fight with them. And Gaal went out before the men of Shechem and fought with Abimelech. And Abimelech pursued him, and he fled before him, and many casualties fell, even until the entrance of the gate. And Abimelech dwelt in Ramah, and Jerubbaal drove out Gaal and his brothers from dwelling in Shechem. And it was on the morrow that the people went out to the field, and they told Abimelech. And he took the people and divided them into 3 companies, and lay in wait in the field. And he saw, and behold, the people were coming out of the city, and he rose up against them and struck them. And Abimelech and the companies that were with him spread out and stood in the entrance of the gate of the city, and the 2 companies spread out upon all that were in the field and killed them. Abimelech fought against the city all that day, and he captured the city and killed the people that were therein, and he broke down the city and sowed it with salt. All the inhabitants of the tower of Shechem heard, and they came to the forest of Beth-el-Rith, and it was told to Abimelech that all the inhabitants of the towns of Shechem had gathered. And Abimelech went up to Mount Zalmon, and all the people that were with him. And Abimelech took the axes in his hand and cut down a bow from the trees, lifted it, and laid it on his shoulder. And he went to the people that were with him. What you have seen me do, hurry and do like me. All the people also cut down every man his bow, and followed Abimelech, and put them nearby the forest, and set the forest on fire upon them, so that all the men of the tower of Shechem died, about 1,000 men and women. Abimelech went to Thebez and encamped in Thebez and captured it. Now there was a strong tower within the city, and all the men and the women and all the inhabitants of the city fled there and shut themselves in, and they went up to the roof of the tower. Abimelech came up to the tower and fought against it, and he went close to the door of the tower to burn it with fire. And a certain woman cast a piece of an upper millstone upon Abimelech's head and crushed his skull. And he called hastily to the young man, his weapon bearer, said to him, draw your sword and kill me, lest they say of me, a woman killed him. And his young man pierced him, and he died. Now the men of Israel saw that Abimelech had died, and they departed every man to his place. Thus God requited the wickedness of Abimelech, which he did to his father, in killing his 70 brothers. And all the wickedness of the men of Shechem God requited upon their heads. And there came upon them the curse of Jotham, the son of Jerubbaal.